based on this clinical case, I would like to talk about how we can work with incisor angulation. The main problem here is that even when we apply force to the tooth using double attachments similar to those in Invisalign, we are still very limited in how much we can influence the position of the root. So we can attempt to correct the tooth axis with this technique, but it does not always lead to success. In this clinical case, our goals were to correct the deep bite and the teeth position. Furthermore, we also performed some distalization to improve the contacts on the right side. And then we worked on the midline and tooth angulation. Let's take a look at the result. The initial situation, we see a deep bite, crowding, teeth inclined inward, and an asymmetry caused by a mandibular shift. And we see class 2 contacts on the right, class 1 on the left. To facilitate distalization, we prescribed class 2 elastics. They were worn in the following way: attached to the surface of the aligner using a special precision cut. On the lower jaw, they were hooked to the corresponding cutout. The patient wore the elastics 24 hours a day, changing them every 12 hours. If we look at the setup, our distalization progressed as follows. First, we moved the second molar, then engaged the first molar. Then, once the second molar completed its movement, we engaged the second premolar, and step by step we carried out the distalization. At the same time, since we had good anchorage from wearing the class 2 elastics, we could also work with the anterior teeth. So distalization and proclination of the upper incisors were carried out simultaneously. At the final stage, we incorporated auxiliaries. Let's see how it looked in real life. We can observe alignment of both the upper and lower teeth with improved occlusion. Unfortunately, I do not have all the shots, as this patient was treated by my clients. I only have what they shared with me. Here we can also see an improvement in the contacts on the right. After applying these hooks for the correction of central incisor angulation, the clients liked the result and used the same technique to correct the angulation of the lateral incisor. Using a similar technique, we can apply force closer to the center of resistance, thus affecting the position of the root, much more than is possible with the help of attachments located on the crown part of the tooth. When I make virtual setups with this technique, I mark the spots where these hooks will be fixed with indentations in the form of attachments. Corresponding cuts are made in the aligners, and the doctor attaches these hooks to the patient's teeth, stretching a chain without gaps between them, or even several chains to apply more force and speed up the process of moving the roots. Since this movement is difficult to predict on a virtual plan because many variables are added, we do not know how exactly the teeth behave with the use of auxiliaries. We plan that after the work with auxiliaries is completed, we will do a refinement and bring the teeth to the desired position. What conclusions would I recommend drawing from this clinical case and similar ones? The first thing we know is that for successful distalization, we always need quality support, quality anchorage, which is achieved by wearing intermaxillary elastics. And I do not recommend relying on any attachments for correcting tooth angulation. If you want to perform it significantly, I recommend getting similar hooks, or if you are a laboratory or clinic, send them with the order to your doctor, draw areas for attaching these hooks on the virtual setup, and in this way you can more predictably move the roots of the teeth and bypass the limitations that aligners have by using auxiliaries. If you want to order a virtual plan from me, you can always do so via the link in the video description. And also, if you are prefer to make virtual setup by yourself, you can use my viewer, which will allow you to upload setups to the cloud and send links to mobile and desktop devices. You can customize colors, tones, add your logo, and set your domain name. The viewer will match your business's branding. You can see some examples on my website and on our Instagram account. Thank you for watching.